it is a possibility that the best part of this film was getting to see the Black Widow trailer on an Imax screen. Welcome to my review of Spiral. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel at least twice a week, and then movie reviews just like this one here at the weekend. I will leave a playlist of my movie reviews linked up above in case you are looking for something to watch this week. My reviews are always spoiler free, and in the description box you will find all of my social links, including my blog and my Goodreads, where I review most of the books that I read. So I'm a big fan of the Saw franchise, and so I was excited when I found out that I would be able to go and see this latest one in the cinema. This is kind of like the 9th in the franchise, but the official title is Spiral from the Book of Saw. And apparently it came out of the fact that Chris Rock is also a big Saw fan and wanted to work with Lionsgate and do something with them, and sort of basically produced, wrote, starred in this film. So it has some big names attached to it. Chris Rock is in it. Samuel L. Jackson plays Chris Rock's dad. But yeah, we have the kind of like the Saw, do you want to play a game? You know, have been doing some bad things. You need to make a choice, a sacrifice if you want to live. But I don't know about you, but as the Saw films have gone on, there's been more and more sort of like dangerous stuff involved. And so the kind of like that aspect of it, I think you become kind of desensitized to it if you've been watching the Saw films from the start. And so that felt a little less original. Then the film is quite timely because it's to do with kind of like corruption in the police force, and Chris Rock is hated by his department because he turned in a corrupt police officer who was his partner, and we kind of have all that corruption, and the person who is doing the like Saw acts obviously has it out for police officers because it's all cops that are targeted. And then we have this kind of like Chris Rock, Samuel L. Jackson strained father-son relationship. Sam Jackson was the head of the police department that Chris Rock now works in, and that, you know, on paper sounds great, but in reality it just didn't work. I just feel like Samuel L. Jackson was like holding back. We all know what he's capable of. He's amazing, you know, he's Nick Fury. And yeah, oh my goodness. So I feel like Chris Rock went to the John Boyega School of Acting. If you haven't seen any of my reviews of like Detroit or the Star Wars, John Boyega has 2 acting expressions, and they're like blank or shocked. And Chris Rock has 2 acting expressions that either shocked or... And I feel like even when he's doing that, he's doing it like impersonating a toddler when he's doing it. Just my opinion, obviously, but I don't know, like I like Chris Rock's stand-up, the comedy films that I've seen him in, you know, I've had no problem with his acting, but in terms of reacting to when his friends have been killed in a really gruesome way, or he's trying to work out who this you know, Jigsaw copycat is, it's very much like, oh, and that's it. And so I found it really distracting when I kind of worked out that there were just these 2 expressions. I would like watch a scene happen and then be like, which reaction is he going to give? Reaction A or reaction B? And then I kind of really wanted to see more of Samuel L. Jackson. And yeah, I did like the way the story was written. I thought that the actual like plot itself was fairly kind of plausible and fairly believable, but it would have been better if it had been kind of carried out in a better way. It was like we had the kind of like torture scenes, and then the Chris Rock acting scenes, and then some actual like nice kind of vibing stuff, and then the kind of corrupt police stuff. And you know, on paper it does all work, and I like the idea that whoever is behind this is targeting these corrupt police officers. And then, yeah, the way it was like edited and directed and acted, that's where it all went wrong. So the writing itself, I think, is pretty good. I saw it in IMAX. It's my first film back in the IMAX cinema. I think the last one I saw in IMAX was probably Birds of Prey. I've seen Dolby films later, but yeah, it was probably Birds of Prey, I think. And so I saw it in the best possible way. And I wouldn't say necessarily that you need to see this on the big screen. It's a great length of film because it's literally an hour and 33 minutes, as films should be. And so it's not like you were kind of waiting around for it to finish or anything like that. But I will say that you don't need to see it on an IMAX screen. You don't necessarily need to see it on a cinema screen. I think this is one that probably I would have been less aware of the kind of like slightly sketchy acting and in my opinion sort of subpar editing and directing if it had been just on my TV at home or on my laptop, however you watch films in your home. So that is my opinion on that one. If you are now at the point where you are about to go back to the cinema and this is one of your options for being your first film back in the cinema after however long it's been, don't make this your first film back in the cinema. I think this is how we're going to end our clips now. Not should you pay to go and see this in the cinema, should this be your first film back in the cinema. No, there are films being released in the next couple of weeks that are definitely worth the wait, and I'm sure will be better than this being the first in the cinema. For example, seeing that IMAX trailer for Black Widow, I also saw the IMAX trailer for A Quiet Place 2 and was reminded just how many times I saw that trailer before cinemas closed at the beginning of the year. I was like, oh, this feels so familiar because I saw it so many times. So yes, that is my opinion on Spiral as somebody who is a Saw fan and has seen all of the other films and has seen a lot of them in the cinema actually. I think I started from like watching, I saw 3D on my own in the cinema. I saw Jigsaw on my own in the cinema. I watched like Saw 5 on my own at home. Like I'm used to seeing these films on my own. And so that is a true Saw fan, definitely. And it definitely feels like a Saw film from the Book of Saw. However, maybe yeah, just pick some different people to be in it next time. But it has been left open-ended. And so we will probably be seeing another one coming soon, and I probably will go and watch it. So make sure you're subscribed so that whenever I review that here on this channel, you don't miss it. Hit that notification bell to be notified when I post my bookish content in the week. And yes, I have a book versus movie coming up for you, possibly the next video you're seeing, so you don't want to miss out on that. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. As always, if there is another movie you want me to go and see and share my thoughts with you here, got a couple lined up this week, but I can definitely squeeze in a request. Let me know in comments. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you with my next video.